I feel like these two are not the same. 3 and 4 are actually not the same. What do you guys think? Is it for you the same, or is it two different things? Yeah, actually let's remove the could be meta. Actually, let's remove that one. Delete this row. So we have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Meta, but needs a slight buff. Situational definitely needs a buff. Actually broken. And trash. Okay, let's start with the first pick, which is Abigail. Abigail, for me personally, is... and also, I try my best to rank from left to right. Like, for example, if I put these two together, just for explanation purposes, if you see one on the left, like this, that means I think this unit on the left is better than the unit on the right, okay? Yeah, it could be better. We can add later on. We can make adjustments as we go, right, guys? We can make adjustments as we go. So first one we got here is the Abigail. And let me adjust the audio real quick because I feel like the music is a bit too loud. But that's just my opinion. It's not a R0 tier list. It's an overall. It doesn't mean if a unit is R0 or R6. I'm not ranking based on if a unit is R6 or R0. I'm basing it on kind of with the reses, I'm basing it on when was the unit released? Okay, when was the unit released? And how far we're into the game right now. You know what I mean by that? Like, for example, Ahmed was released very early into the game, and like, I don't know, Fang came down way later, or Brewster even. Okay, so basically, let's start. Abigail is meta because she has the attack buff with the absorption to the whole team. She can push a unit to 100% AP. She has a revive mechanism, which is very strong. For example, if a Gaius dies, she can immediately revive. You can get S3 into God King mode, into Big Nuke, for example, or whatever it is. And because of the absorption, you basically get a free heal. Also, her S2 gives defense and shield, and her S1 is asleep. And also, Abigail below R2 is better than above R2 because at R2 she cleanses herself with her S2, and because of that, she is like trickies can deal easier with an Abigail at R2 than they can deal with her at R0 or R1, for example. She's definitely meta. Then next one we have Ahmed. Ahmed definitely meta unit. Many reasons, especially when you can get him to R2 at least, because then um, even like he's not only buffing the attack, but he's also buffing the speed value of the units. His healing is very strong. There is different uses you can play. You can play him on Panacea. You can play him on Zeus Avatara, for example. There are many ways to play him. Also, what is really nice for him is that he, like his S3 has also a skill cooldown reduction, plus a very strong single target heal, which makes him great, as well as his S3 cannot be reset by a reset unit, which also helps. And plus, he's a wind unit. He's meta. Very easy to rank that. Then next up we have Alexa. Alexa is very situational. So I saw people like GG Easy, for example, likes to use Alexa for point wall, but I feel like, yeah, it's whatever, kind of sucks. But in Holo Battle, she's kinda meta, if you want to say so. Very situational. You can use her like the teams who use Alexa also use Chloe in Holo Battle. Oh, you were Eastern, you were in Germany. Where were you in Germany, bro? So she has a use in Holo Battle to get the reflect up, to get the buffs on the Chloe to does the damage, right? To deal with also with Wind Espers. Then Alice we skip. Alice is not a unit. I think that could be argued. This is what I'm putting here, Pandora. Meta but needs a slight buff. Because, in my opinion, that they nerfed Pandora, for example. Like in RTA Season 1, she was busted. Because her Pandora's box are as free. Her boxes, when they popped, she was able to stun the units. And it was 50% of HP and not 30%. And I actually think that she is potentially being meta, but needs that slight buff to it. And then she could potentially be here if they make the right adjustments. But for right now, I feel like she serves that spot. Also, she's very good for holo battles as well, especially if you have her at R6. If you pop the box with her S2, you can get a 2-turn stun. Next up, we have Ashley. Oh, Ashley is tough for me. I feel like Ashley's meta, but like lower rank meta. Like she's somewhere here, but for now, like because we don't have any, I feel like she's kind of here, but for now we put her in here. I feel like Ashley's still meta. I'm not talking about PvE aspects, by the way, because she does actually so much for your team. Like if you move first, what she does is giving attack buff to your whole team, especially if you use a cleave or whatever. You can even make her a bit tanky if you run a more tanky comp, or control team. And also with the attack bar pushback, which she does, and she has a potential stun on her S2 as well. I feel like she kind of deserves her spot in the meta range, and the true damage helps a lot. The true damage actually helps a lot for her kit. And when you get, and especially if you're in a speed battle, what Ashley enables you to do, if someone outspeeds you, she can potentially help you to get back into the match because of her effect that when you get crit, she pushes the AP of your team, right? So that's why I think she deserves this spot. Then next up we have Cecilia. No, Cecilia, sorry. Biondina. Biondina is in, I think I rank her higher than Alexa. So Biondina actually found a use in Holo Battle. Is from what I have seen so far. She does actually crazy damage. And she's also a very good Jin Yao killer. I feel like she can also deal with Everett when she crits. So if you build her really good, like very strong, and help her a little bit with speed and stuff, not too much, but a bit, and then you use an attack bar pusher or something like an Abigail, you can make use of a Biondina in Holo Battle because she has the potential to also, like if she's at R2, she's able to strip 2 units instead of 1. So you have a higher chance of removing the buffs of the target you're desiring. She's good in RTA. I didn't see her in RTA. I'm basing this tier list off of my experience, to be honest. So where I saw her, maybe in RTA, but RTA I didn't see her. So Holo Battle is what I'm going here. She has use. She has use, and I actually want to test her as well. No, I don't think she needs high reso, to be honest. Yeah, but Erta, this is not a PvE tier list. That's a PvP tier list. What we're doing here. Minus at R2, but R0 should also work for Holo Battle. Uh, with the next one, oh no, actually not the next one. Bonnie as well as situational, because Bonnie is kind of the same thing as Nusi, because it just comes down to the skill reset, right? With her as free. So she basically is our budget Nusi in this game. But the issue I have with Bonnie is like she's very, very situational. And the problem with her is that you need very high accuracy on her, and it's just a one hit. I think it's a one hit with her S3. Let me double check real quick in the game. Um, Bonnie, where is she? There we have Bonnie. Yeah, so it's a one hit, and if people are running immunity, you have to remove the immunity and then also get the skill reset. So it's kind of tough for Bonnie to actually land her shit because she's not really that reliable. Yeah, she can. She can, but I used her in the past and I found that her skill reset is kinda unreliable. You never know. Next one we have Brewster. And Brewster, I probably should I rank Brewster here or should I rank Brewster before Bio or after? I feel like before, like he's better than Bio, but he's not meta in a sense. That's just my opinion with him. Because you can use him, for example, you can use him in Holo Battle, you can use him in PvP for Point War and for Knockout, I believe, as well. Um, but I also feel like he's kind of situational depending on what the enemy is using. He does great damage, and he's like a unit you want to have at R2. Like if he isn't in R2, he would probably belong into the trash tier. But because of R2, I rank him in situational because he can fish out damage and wins you battles. So that's my thought process with Brewster. Also, he has a stun. He has an AP annihilation, which kind of makes him useful. But I don't feel that he belongs up in this area. I feel like the situational spot. That's why. And as I told you guys, this is I'm ranking from left to right. So I'm just repeating myself here again. If a unit is on the left, that unit is better than the unit right next to it. Okay. Next up we have Cecilia. So Cecilia is 100% meta. I'm not sure if I want to rank Cecilia prior to Abigail. I don't think she's better than Abigail, but she's way up there. Way up there. 100%. And that's why I put Brewster in situational because it it's meta dependent. So Cecilia has a AoE cleanse, heal, and her main selling point is that she can revive the whole team. And that makes her super strong because she can counter so many different things. She's very strong against tank teams, and also she is very strong against cleave teams as well. Definitely deserves a spot in meta. I feel like almost she could almost belong in there. But for this, we leave her at that right now. Yeah, R6, dude. If like that's why I'm ranking it between R0 to R6. If we're talking about R6 CC, I would say immediately Broken needs to be nerfed. But since CC is a shimmer unit, the likelihood of having her. Oh wait, by the way, like guys, I really have to pay attention to the songs playing because if I'm talking here for 30 minutes and then I wanna upload it to YouTube and then they're saying, yo, that shit is copyright, we're kind of fucked. Wait, let me. Okay, we're going with this. Um, so that's why I'm not ranking her up here because the likelihood of her having R6 is very low, right? And even at R0, she's busted. Yeah, but as of right now, she's in the slot. Then we have what's next? Chloe. So Chloe is here in this spot as well, in situational, because Chloe's use in situational is just Holo Battle. And in Holo Battle, her uses together with Alexa. So both of these two, Alexa and Chloe together, run really well against like Hyde, JJ, no, no, not JJ, Hyde, Jinyu Yao, Everett, stuff like that. You can, ja, ich bin Deutscher. You can use these two together, so that's why I rank her in situational, which kind of fits her purpose because she has that one use together with uh, Alexa, and like that's a really, really good and strong whole offense team. Then next up we have Clara. Clara definitely deserves a spot in meta. I mean, what Clara allows you to do is you get an heal, you get a shield, you get immunity, and if you have an R2, you get 2 turns immunity, which is even better. And her S1 heals your allies, she cleanses, and she does stuff, right? She also has very high base speed, 106, like one of the highest base speeds in the game, with a +7 ascension, speed ascension. So you can like, if you have a really fast set, you can even outspeed units like Unis, for example. And also, Clara might be kinda, and that's only kinda, helpful to counter a little bit of Fang Nusi because she gives you shield and immunity, and the Nusi has to remove both of these first. But that's just a kinda, you know what I mean? Very good unit. Also very good in a speedy composition together with Ashley, so you can push her to 100% if the enemy is faster, and then she just buffs immunity your whole team, and you're good to go. Next up, we have Dahlia. So Dahlia is in the situational tier. I would, I don't even know if I would rank her higher than Bonnie, to be honest. I feel like she is here because when do you ever use Dahlia? Dahlia is mostly used if you do not have Clara or Unas. Like you use Dahlia if you don't have a better AP pusher, or if your crit rate sucks and you kind of need her crit buff, right? and also she has 5% more AP push than Clara, then you're probably picking her, but I feel like she is more of a situational unit than anything else. Uh, Dona, no, wait, let me check real quick, double check. Dona is a unit which needs a buff. Even at R6, he isn't even that great. Like his best use, I feel like for even PvP, is to target JYYs and maybe even a Kang Ji. But I think more likely to target a JYY. But still, even if he's R6, his kit right now, he doesn't cut it. He doesn't cut it. He doesn't make the cut to be even in up these spots. So Dona definitely needs a buff. Then next up we have Elliot. Elliot is something. So here's the thing with Elliot. Elliot, in my opinion, is between definitely needs a buff and situational. And that's where I need your help, kinda, because if Elliot is R6, he's definitely up here in the situational spot. Because his R6 gives him the effect that his skill reset is unresistible and lands every single time. But right now, like, he doesn't do that from the get-go, and it's kinda sucky that they made it in a way that, like, his R6 gives us as free the effect which he should have from the get-go. Like, his R6 doesn't even make any sense. Like, the absolute, and that's my personal opinion, what he needs as a buff, the absolute minimum, if they want to keep his R6 reso like it is, that is unresistible, the absolute bare minimum as a buff should be if Elliot, with his S3, does not successfully reset our target, his S3 will be immediately usable again. That's the absolute bare minimum. And then feel like that would be a good buff to him. Make it so that if it gets resisted, he has it up again. And also his percentages, like the likelihood of him taunting and shit, is too low. That needs a buff too. So I will put him in definitely needs a buff. What do we have next? Everett. Everett is definitely meta. I don't think we need an explanation on why he's meta. Yeah, Zekmet. Exactly, Arthur. Exactly. Zekmet from Summoner's War. That was the same situation. So Everett, I don't think there's anything. If you max skill him, 20% damage mitigation, makes your team way more. He's super tanky. He does crazy damage as a bruiser. The likelihood of critting him is so low because there's like a 40% miss chance or something. And then if enemies crit him, he has a 100% of like revenge proc you. And if they miss, he has like a 40 to 50% chance of revenge procking. And he has 2 turns of taunt. He has a miss rate up. He has a stun on his S1. Like he's almost broken, needs to be nerfed. I feel like actually we could almost put him in here. Like I still think maybe we do we add a row, but I kind of feel like Everett, because everyone has R6, like everyone has access to him, and you see him literally everywhere. You see him in Knockout, you see him in the Holo Battle, you see him in Point War, like in every PvP content, Everett is there. He is meta. 100%, no doubt, ever. Next up, we have the Sisters trash. There's literally nothing else I want to say about that. Next up, we have Fang. Fang deserves that spot 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Oh, did I wait? Then let me do. I forgot Fabrice. Sorry, I forgot Fabrice. Fabrice also belongs, in my opinion, in the situational spot. He's not meta, but he's situational. Very good in combination with Abigail and Holo Battle, and then you can use one DPS unit together, so that's a very strong combo. And yeah, that's about it, what I wanted to say. And now we are talking about Fang. So should we even create a Fang tier list? Just above broken needs to be nerfed. Above broken needs to be nerfed. We create a Fang. No, I feel like let's keep it this way. We can make adjustments later on, guys. We can do that thing later on. We just keep it this way for now. So Fang, in my opinion, is a problem unit in the game. Fang has way too much in her kit. She's way too powerful, way too strong, overpowered to like unlimited amounts. Fang got released during a time where DISLYTE wasn't doing that great. So they thought, what can we do to get money? Hello, Fang Nusi. That's what happened. That's what basically happened. That's what basically happened with Fang. And it's just insanity to me. Like, if you ever played a similar game to DISLYTE, a similar game which has units which you can rune up and then it plays the same way as DISLYTE. There, in no game, there is a unit that strips and skill resets you at the same time with a joke as fuck cooldown of 4 turns max skilled. You either have a unit which AoE strips, which is already strong as fuck, or you have a unit which is able to fully AoE skill reset the entirety, which is also good, but potentially not even too broken, depending on the enemy team. It really depends. But having both at the exact same time, plus with her like skill 2, she can reset one of the units. She has an AP pushback, pushes herself up. I don't even know if it's a pushback, but it's at least a push up to herself. And on top of that, she has a base speed of 105 and gets a +7 speed ascension. It's beyond broken. Beyond broken. And I tell you, Lilith, if you're watching this, you have two choices of fixing Fang. And that's my opinion. And it sounds harsh, but still, even with these changes, she's still top of the meta. The first way you can nerf Nusi is reduce her 4-hit S3 from 4 hits to 2 hits and only make the last hit a skill reset. Plus, she's already a shimmer, so she cannot even miss, which also makes her very strong in that regard. Only 2 hits and only the last one can reset. That's the first thing. Once you did that, you also increase the cooldown time of that skill from 4 turns to 6 turns. She's using that shit way too often. That needs to happen. And the other thing they can do is slightly nerf the S3. Like, let's say instead of 4 hits, they do 3 hits and do it like only the last hit does the skill reset thing, right? And then nerf her base speed from 105 down to 91. Just make her base speed slow as fuck. 91. So that if you use Fang, she does not have a chance to outspeed your controllers or your AP pushers. Just nerfing her down to 91 base speed. And that's a way you could potentially fix Fang. Also, her R4, if you read it, her R4 is the most busted shit. Her R4 gives you a 20% chance of ignoring resistance. 20% chance ignoring resistance with 4 hits. Think about that real quick. Okay, next up, we have Gabrielle. I'm thinking about where I want to rank Gabby. What do you guys think? Is Gabby better than Ashley or worse than Ashley? For PvP. Do you think Gab is better or worse than Ash? I need a zip. Better or worse? Okay, since you guys cannot decide, I will rank Gab lower. Gab is below Ash, actually, because if you're looking at overall PvP use, Gab is being used in Point War, Knockout, and in... yeah, that's it. Point War, Knockout. Ashley is being used in Point War, Knockout, and Holo Battle. Gabby on Holo Battle defense isn't that great anymore. She has great... also RTA. I forgot to mention RTA, sorry guys. But RTA as well, she's also used for RTA. But still, Ashley is also used for RTA. But I feel like she's slightly worse than Ash. But she has... good morning, Inside. She has still great utility, especially at R6. You get 3 turns of immunity and the defense buff. If you run her on Zeus, she has huge stun potential, and as well as you can also make her super fast because she has also high space speed, 106 plus 10 speed ascension. So you can make her going turn 1 to buff your team, right? So she deserves a spot in here in the meta spot, but at the lower side of the meta. Trash. I add a row, guys. I need to add a row. I need to add a row below. Oh, wait. So this one was like this, and this is like this, and that one like doesn't see play. Where is she? Am I blind? Where's the Intezar? Oh, up here. So I put that in doesn't see play. I wouldn't say she needs a buff. I wouldn't even put her in situational. I don't even put her in a situation that doesn't see plays where the like you don't really see her in Point War. You don't see an RTA, you don't see her in Holo. You literally don't see her anywhere in PvP. So that's why my thought process of ranking her and doesn't see play. I mean, you could potentially say she's situational, but she literally doesn't see play. And that's just my personal opinion about Intezar. Then next up we have Gaius. Guys, what do you think? Should we rank Gaius? Like, is Gaius better than Ahmed or is Ahmed better than Gaius? No one plays her, Erta. You you can say yes against JRY, but she doesn't really see play. There are better units out there. I feel like Gaius is better than Ahmed. I think that's. I don't think he's better than Everett. He's not better than Everett, but he's definitely better than Ahmed. Like, Gaius. Gaius basically was the reason, or Gaius with Ashley together was the reason they changed PvP and added HP boost into PvP, which also, in my opinion, should be removed from the game. HP boost has no place in PvP, in my opinion, because it just benefits tanks for no fucking reason, and it just. I need to find the right word. It. Like. How do I say that? It just gives bad players more stats. It's just like a condom for protection. I'm not finding the right words here. But I think you guys get what I'm trying to say with the HP boost. Because the only people, like, there's like literally benefits for no reason. Like, you're not getting like anything out of it if you have better relics. You can have worse relics, and because of that HP boost, you're suddenly, I don't know, at the top of the leaderboard. Yeah, but we are not ranking fighters, controllers, and supporters and shit like that. We rank them overall, and I feel like the only way to rank the shit is overall. I don't wanna make separate tier lists. It doesn't make sense to me. Gaius has everything going for himself. At R6 he gets no. Let's talk about it real quick. At R2 he gains the effect to grant all your allies 20% accuracy if he's not in God King mode, and if he's in God King mode he grants you 20% crit rate. At R4 he heals himself, and R6 you get an additional lightning bolt, which is very very strong and good. That's where he belongs. Very good. Yes, and you can use him with Abigail and stuff like that. Next up we have Hyde. Hyde is Hyde is Cleave team's worst nightmare. And that's because of one simple reason, and that reason is called Avatar procs. If you cleave, the only reason you lose to a Hyde is because he procs Avatar every single time. And there's like a 50% chance to proc Avatar. The reason your cleave team loses to a tank comp is because of Hyde proccing like bajillion times. And because he's wind, and most of the good fighting DPS is like um flow. He like as long as we have flow DPS, height will all like Heim is there since day one and he's still meta. So that's how strong he is. Now the question is height ranked above Clara or below Clara. I feel like he's above Clara definitely. He's definitely. Yo, what's up, boys? What's up, man? Welcome, welcome. We're doing tier list. Next up, we have JJ. JJ belongs in, definitely needs a buff. 100%. You probably will be surprised now because I'm saying this, but JJ 100% needs a buff. And it's not about situational, but he just literally needs a buff. And I can explain that real quick. So, if you compare all the other Shimmer units, you know, like JJ, yes, if you look at his skills, he does AoE damage, but his AoE damage actually isn't even that great of a deal. He inflicts taunt for one turn, and then he just does a single target thing, and that's it. So his only selling point is his demon mode, and he gets one turn of standoff, and with tricky and everything and so on and so forth. And also Jinyu Yao, he gets like killed super fast, super easily. And then with the meta, with Sally's average and stuff, he has even a tough time. And the HP boost, by the way, the HP boost, he has a tough time to kill tanks. He still does good damage, don't get me wrong, but he still needs a buff. Also, his resonances are a fucking joke. If you compare to all the other resos, right? If you compare to like Fang, to CC, CC gets 100% attack, like ATB boost. Unas gets a attack buff, a strip and shit like that. And what does JJ get? Oh, he gets a sear debuff on his S1, which gets cleansed in 2 seconds. Oh, he heals upon killing an enemy while he heals himself in demon mode too, because that's where you want to have him anyways. And then R6, wow, he gets Entailer effect. JJ isn't that great, guys. Like, JJ isn't even that big of a deal anymore nowadays. Yes, you can use him, but he needs a buff. He's not that great. He's not that great. His damage is also subpar to other units. So that's why JJ belongs in the definitely needs a buff tier. Okay. Jinyu Yao, meta. What a fucking beast of a unit. JYY is such a beast in PvP. I don't know when it started actually, guys. Maybe you can help me. But it feels like Jinyu Yao joined the meta, I don't know, like a month ago? Maybe I'm just coping? It feels like she joined the meta out of nowhere a month ago and she just dominated. Dominated. No, she doesn't need a nerf. I don't think she needs a nerf. She's very good. I knew it from the very beginning she's good, but she didn't see play. And nowadays, um, immensely helpful unit, especially since she's Inferno, great against wind units to kind of counter that. Very tanky. On Astralis Avatara, she's a fucking beast and nightmare to deal with. She stuns like crazy. She pushes her AP bar. At R6, she can reduce her skill cooldown of her S3. And at R4, let me check real quick. Yet she does true damage, so that actually means she does some sort of damage, by the way. Oh yeah, and her R2 increases the AP boost that Jin Yu receives by 50%, which is also fucking insane. She's such a great unit. She cleanses. She does so much nowadays. You see her in Knockout, you see her in PvP, you see her in RTA, you see her literally in every PvP content, you see a JYY. The cleansing is just too good. She's highly up there. I don't. Should I? We make an adjustment. Jin Yu Yao is top of the meta for this right now. Like, JYY is better than Abigail in that sense, so definitely like that. Dude, I knew, like, I called it that I will pull the last Jin Yu Yao before I get to 30 stickers. And what happened? I pulled the last Jin Yu Yao before I got to 30 stickers. Yeah, she's just an overall great unit. She just cleanses everything, heals a little bit. Such a great unit. I also feel like even though you could say she's kind of busted, I feel like she's also balanced in a sense. What do you guys think? I feel like it sounds weird that she's top of the meta, but she feels balanced to a certain degree, even at R6. What do you guys think about that? Like, yes, she cleanses and stuff, but she doesn't do like crazy damage. She has that control thing that your team doesn't get too much. Like, she's an anti-controller, and we need that anti-control. Next up, we have Leora. What can I say about Leora? I saw her. I still don't like her. She can be situational in Knockout and in Point War. I don't see anyone ever use her in RTA. Actually, people used in Holo, but I don't think she's good. Like, she could even potentially be in the needs a buff tier. What do you guys think? Leora needs a buff or situational? But I also kind of don't want Leora getting a buff. Because if she gets a buff, she might be like too busted. I feel like she's a situational unit, doesn't do anything particularly great. And for the people who are now saying, oh, I saw someone in the top 10 leaderboard of Point War where there was a Leora in the defense. Yeah, you saw a Leora, but what did you also see? You saw an Ethan, you saw a Kangji CJ, an R6 CJ, you saw Feng Nusi at the same time. Yeah, obviously, it's not the Leora which wins the fights. So, Leora is situational. I think even at R6 she's situational. Lewis. I feel like Lewis is there. What do you guys think? I feel like Lewis has a good use for. I think you can use him for RTA to a certain degree, but like his biggest selling point is probably Holo Battle against Heights. Even at R6, like he can fish good damage, but I don't know, he's lacking something. By the way, I found a better name for this. Meta but lacking. I feel like that's good. Would I rank him higher than Pandora though? I don't think so. I think he does like that's his main selling point, nuking heights, and maybe also JYYs, like, and also Meredith's to a certain degree. Like you can use him for these standard JYY Meredith Everett comps, because he can fish out crazy damage together with Abigail and Fabrice, for example. Or would you say he's more of a situational unit, guys? What do you think? Meta but lacking or situational for Lewis? Okay, let's put him in situational, I guess. I feel like he's better than Brewster though, and Bio. He's better than Brewster and Bio to a certain degree, but kind of worse than Fabrice, if it does make sense. Oh, oh, good call. Good call, Quan. Rename doesn't see play to niche. And also, we move this down. Like, I feel like this could be it. Like, I feel like situational sees more play than niche. You know what I mean? And by niche, then I will put her down and do it like this and maybe like this. And I feel like she's niche as well. I feel like this. I feel like this. Maybe this looks better to me. Like I feel like niche is lower. Like niche is rarer than situational. Next we have Liling. Meta but lacking. That's why I put him. And I also feel like he's better than Pandora, by the way. So R6 Liling is actually very good. Very good in my opinion. Because he is an AoE DPS Inferno Esper who can dish out a lot of damage with his true damage and so on and so forth. He has that defense break on his S2. He can push up himself again. Very good against the wind units and also against Inferno units, right? So I will rank Liling there here. He also he has very good base speed and good stats overall. But if we say no, Lewis is situational, he's not niche. Because he also sees play sometimes in other content as well. We don't rank rare Espas, by the way. We're skipping rares. Next. Lucas. Lucas is meta. I know that people don't see much action of Lucas, but 100% he's a meta unit in control teams. He has one of the highest base speeds in the game. He has the AP pushback. He has a strip. 100%. He's an Inferno unit, which is great against Wind and Inferno units. Also against Shimmers as well, right? So he deserves the spot. Also, he can stun with S2. He has an AP pushback on S1. Definitely deserves it. Also, they nerfed him twice. Like, guys, if I remember, like, did they nerf Lucas twice or was it one time? Did he have on his S1, was it a 20% pushback and then they nerfed it to 15 and now to 10? Or was it 15 and then they nerfed it to 10? Yeah, that's because you don't know how to use him properly. That's the issue. But he's 100% a meta unit. I can tell you that. 100%. No questions asked. They nerfed him once, so it was 15% and then nerfed him down to 10. Next up we have Nama. Needs a buff. Like, what do you guys think? R6 Nama is a niche unit. Niche or needs a buff? I'm curious what you guys think. I feel like he needs a buff. I mean, like below R6 he's trash, but R6 I think like he's niche. Nah, I think no, he needs a buff. Like even his niche use is only point war offense. I feel like he needs a buff. They should lower the amount of sun stacks he needs so you can run less buffers with him together. And then even his damage isn't, in my opinion, that crazy, to be honest, for hitting twice in a row. Yeah, we can also take that as a reference that if a unit is unusable at R0 needs a buff. Next up we have Ollie. Ollie is meta, but where do we put him? Like here? I don't feel like he's better than any. I don't think Ollie's better than a Clara, Lucas, Hyde. Like everything above Ollie is better than him. But 100% meta. You can build him tanky, you can build him, make him DPS. Also, he has 25% speed lead, which just screams meta. Also, right now you see that meta team with CJ, Ethan, and stuff like that. So, 100% meta. No. Do you think above Clara? Would you say above Clara? I'm not sure if he's above Clara though. Yeah, maybe. Actually, maybe he's above Clara. There's nothing much to say about Ophelia. I feel like she's just situational. And her best use is Holo Battle. And even then, like I have Ophelia since she was released, and I cannot even remember the last time I used her in PvP content. Like I have more use for her in PvE than in PvP. So I feel like she's more of a situational type of unit to kind of deal with heights than anything else. Next up we have actually Lu Yan. Lu Yan is up here. Like Lu Yan, you could arguably say he's meta, but I also feel like he's not that meta. And I also feel like he's not lacking. Like I feel like he's situational. He has like he's really good. Don't get me wrong. He's really good to deal with tanky comps and shit like that. And also for Holo Battle, he's also very, very good because of his HP cap thing. So I put him in the situational spot. I feel like, do you guys think Luyan is better than Fabrice or worse than Fabrice? What do you guys think? Better or worse than Fabrice? I mean, I would argue that Luyan is better than Fabrice because of one simple reason. So Fabrice is only used for Holo Battle offense, and he's great in it. But Luyan is also used in Holo Battle offense. But Luyan can also be used in Knockout, and Luyan can also be used in Point as well. So that's why I will rank Luyan as the top situational unit. So I feel like that's the spot. I mean, the thing is why he's not meta. If Luyan would be a meta unit, you would see him all the time. But you don't see him all the time. And because of that, he's a situational unit. Yes, he can be meta for you, but because of you don't see him quite that often, so he's a situational unit in that sense. If you can agree or disagree with me in that sense. Meredith, meta unit. And Meredith, I rank higher than Ash and Gabby, but lower than Clara. Because Meredith got that crazy buff, and she does so much for your team with buffs, healing, damage. She has everything going for herself, so 100% a meta unit. So she deserves a spot in here. Leon works versus Ahmed, he's more effective versus Ahmed, the more enemies are there. Yeah, basically. So that's why situational. If you run like you use him when you run into specific comps, like if you're fighting someone like with a YOLO control team, something like that, you're not bringing a Lu Yuan. Lu Yuan is just strictly against tanks. Then next up we got Pritzker. Pritz. Pritz is bottom meta. Like Pritz is bottom meta. Like Pritz is used in control teams for point war. He is good in holo battle on defense and offense. And this guy here carried me to legend last RTA season. So Pritzker, in my opinion, he doesn't see play knockout, but he sees play in RTA in point war and in holo, and I think he deserves his meta spot, especially with the resonance system. I wouldn't rank him above the others though. Like if we would make a RTA tier list, I would rank him here. Like if this would be an RTA tier list, Pritzker would be right below Jinyu Yao. Because he's below Jinyu Yao because Jinyu Yao counters the Pritz. But since it's not an RTA tier list but an overall PvP tier list, he's at the bottom of the meta tier list. We can make adjustments later. Right? We can always make adjustments later. But for now we wanna rank the units first, right? Yeah, basically, so when I played RTA, when I had my Pritzker on my team, he never got banned. So if I saw someone picking a JYY, JYY was an auto ban for me. I can show you, actually, I have a short. I think I have a YouTube short. I can um, show you guys real quick on what I mean by like why he's so good. Wait, actually, never mind. That's the wrong video. Lul. Never mind. Never mind. I got the wrong video, so it doesn't matter. So I had I don't have the video here, the footage, but I have footage of him being like super strong in. Also, wait, that was the wrong tab. Um, in RTA. Raven. Raven. Raven is niche. I feel like she's top niche because there's only one place you see a Raven being used, and that is if you're using her in a point war cleave team for offense. Energy uses her quite successful. I know that, guys. You don't need to remind me. I talk a lot to Energy. We're actually good gaming buddies. But I feel like she's niche because there's like literally that one usage, and yeah, she's good. She's very good in what she does, by the way. Don't get me wrong. She's very good in what she does, but she's very specific and has that there's only that one use for her. We have the next broken Esper, Sally. Sally belongs to the broken needs to be nerfed list. Her R6 is just too ridiculous. R6 Sally is just broken. R6 Sally, I'm telling you guys, what I called it, like if you're coming from Summoner's War, like if you see someone running with Cecilia and an R6 Sally on defense, that's what we like back in the days, that's what we called a pussy team. That's what we called a pussy team. R6 Sally is just broken. Like her damage reduction, like the the match starts. She has that fucking gold rim buff, 25% damage reduction. She also moves in her own turn. The whole thing gets cleansed. It's just too ridiculous. It's just too ridiculous. She needs to be nerfed. And one thing they could nerf is, let's check. Oh, I don't have Sally. We cannot even check because I never pulled her. But by the way, if I had an R6 Sally, I would still say the same thing. Um, Basically, it's a 25% damage reduction, right? I feel like what they could do is, first of all, remove. So there are like two things they could do. There is the harsher version. The harsher version is reduce the damage reduction from 25% to 10% for the R6 so that when the battle starts, the gold rim buff is weaker than when she actually casts the S3. So if the fight starts, the damage reduction is just 10% instead of 25, and when she uses her S3, then it's at 25. And on top of that, remove her ability to move when she has the gold rim buff. That's the harsh one. The not so harsh version would be either to not let her move at all or remove the damage from 25 to 10%. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like her taking turns in Sweet Harvest is just Xander. Guys, Xander above Lewis or below Lewis? I feel like he's above Lewis. Or do you think like below Lewis? He's situational. Like Xander's use is Holo Battle. And maybe RTA. Maybe RTA. Okay. We rank Lewis as Xander above. Actually, should we rank him above Fabrice though? Let me think about that real quick. Should we rank Xander above Fabrice? Yeah, we rank him above Fabrice. I feel like yeah, he's a good height counter to be honest, so we rank him there. I mean, Xander doesn't need explanation. You can build him fast with DPS, and he does a great job. Uh, what else do we have? Sienna. Sienna is meta. R6 Sienna is busted. Actually, let's move Sienna up here. R6 Sienna is busted. Countering 20% AP increase to the team, 3 turns attack buff, speed buff, plus resetting the AP from the whole enemy team, plus a 2-turn stun is ridiculous. So she's definitely a meta unit. Tanjuan is trash. The next one, actually we rank it like this. I feel like there's no explanation needed for this, but Tavor is probably, arguably, the worst unit in the game. Actually, maybe Ife is even worse than Tavor. But no, you know what? No, fuck you. Tavor is actually the worst unit in the game. Fuck it. Like, Tavor is such a trash unit. It's unbelievable. His base speed sucks. Yes, his single target damage is good, but you need to play Mostralis to make most use of him. And even then, he doesn't provide too much to the team. He's also quite squishy. And yo, it's a fucking joke. Yeah, no, we don't put Barton on the tier list because we don't put rares on the tier list. I don't want to put rares on the tier list. We're just ranking epics and legendaries. Obviously, Barton would be on the tier list. I would, if Barton, like just for reference, if we put Barton into the tier list, I would put him in the situational spot. Like I probably would put him Barton here, but we're not ranking. But yeah, and the biggest joke with Tavor, let's come back to Tavor real quick, is he's a Shimmer legendary, and is the only. Forget about Everett, by the way, in this short sense, because he's a free-to-play unit because you can fuse him, right? But Tavor is the only legendary Esper, plus he's a Shimmer in the game who does not have a Captain ability, which is ridiculous. This guy's in the game for a year, he got 2 buffs, he still sucks ass, and he has no Captain ability. And the appropriate buff for Tavor, in my opinion, is to give him a 35% speed lead for PvP. That's the appropriate buff. And if they give Tavor a 35% speed lead, Tavor would move out of trash to immediately meta. That would be immediately his spot. Immediately, if they give him the 35% speed lead. But as of right now, he's trash. They don't even need to change his kit. Just give him the 35% speed lead, and we're good to go. Also, they should slightly increase his base speed to like at least 100. Like 97 is too low. Make it 100 at least. Next up, we have Taylor. Taylor is also niche. Yeah, Taylor is niche. Taylor is used in Holo Battle against rest comps. Like, if someone is using a JJ together with an Abigail and Cecilia, for example, you use Taylor. Taylor together with Elliot. Elliot resets the the JJ, for example, and then Taylor kills the JJ, and then the enemy doesn't have anything left, and then you move on with your life. Dude, Quan, Tava isn't even mid. Hi, Unbreakable. Next we have TA. TA is above Pritz. So the reason why Tia is a meta unit is because besides of Ollie, she's the only other unit which has a 25% universal speed lead. Like if you, for example, don't have Ollie, you run Tia 100% of the time. Like if you run a if you want a speed lead on defense, you're 100% using her. And she also has the AP pushback with her S3 and pushes your team up. So definitely deserves a spot at the meta list, but at the lower side of the meta list. And at R2, she gets a silence for her S1, which also helps sometimes. Um, Tricky. Tricky is I feel like here between Gaius and Ahmed, there's Tricky. I feel like that's a good spot for Tricky. I feel like Tricky doesn't like there's nothing much to say about Tricky. He has a strip, he stuns, he kind of helps countering JYYs and stuff like that, or healers and cleansers overall. Um, no, no, Tia is not meta but lacking. Tia is actually meta because if you don't have like she's also very good. She's actually very good in RTA, by the way. Actually very good in RTA, so yeah. So Tricky is here between Gaius and Ahmed. Tricky is in this spot. Helps against JYYs, against Trickies to stun them, Ollies, Claras, Sallies with his typing. Basically, yes. So that's why I feel like would you guys rank Tricky higher than that? I feel like he's fine here. Would you rank him higher than that? No, she's better than Pritz. Definitely better than Pritz to a certain degree. Just because of the 25% speed lead. Just because of that alone makes her better than Pritz. I know she has that, but just cause of the captain ability alone, that makes her better than Pritz. Otherwise, I would put her in meta but lacking. Next up, we have Unas. Unas is I feel like that's the right spot for Unas. Has the best AP push in the game, high, like highest speed with gap. Um, has a defense break on S1, gives the whole team immunity for one turn. At R2, he gets even crazier with attack buffing your whole team. And I don't even want to talk about R4 and R6, but that's a spot. Definitely. I think that's a good spot for Unas in the PvP tier list. Or would you rank Unas above Abigail? I don't think Unas to a certain degree is better than Abby. Like, I wouldn't put it like this. I would rather put it like this. Or do you guys think like Unas is better than Abigail? I'm curious. Oh yeah, also his S3 is a free turn cooldown, so that's also crazy. Actually, actually, Unas is a bit better than Abigail. Actually, a bit better than Abigail. Then we got. So the only reason I put Yon Xuan in situational, that might surprise a couple of people, because you probably think like Yon Xuan is down here in the trash tier for PvP, but he's actually in the situational spot. Or should I put him in niche? Actually, you know what? We put him at top of niche. That's where his spot is. Top of niche, because in R6 Yan Xuan on defense can be quite ridiculous, because he has a 30% chance of blocking incoming attacks from him. And then he can just AoE, speed down, land his weird debuff, and basically helps out fishing damage. I saw him. I saw R6 Yan Xuan in tank teams before. I feel like that's, but like only R6 by the way, only R6, R0 like below R6 trash, niche for R6. Zong is meta but lacking. I saw someone using, was it even one of my club mates? I don't know who it was, but I saw someone running a in KO using Zong, and he actually did something. And I saw his potential, but I think he's lacking. So Zong, like, I saw him in action, so I know his potential, so that's why he's in the slot. But he's still lacking something. You think he's situational? But the lowest I would put Zong after I saw him in action is below Brewster. Just because of what I have seen. Because of what I have seen, I ranked him that highly, out of my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, it's my personal tier list. Then Xiaoyan actually has use in PvP, by the way. So Xiaoyan is actually niche. There's one specific use for him. So you use him in Holo Battle together with Abigail and Fabrice and beat down JYY comps. And he does it really good. I saw him in action. He does it really good. So he has a niche use in PvP. No, he counters JYY. He counters JYY. I saw him countering JYY. So Xiaoyan is there. Next up we have Zora. So Zora belongs, for me personally, in the situational spot. So I don't know how many people of you have Zora and how many resonances she has. Like, once she is R2, she becomes relevant. Like, she has an AoE defense break plus an AoE buff block, which is very good against all defenses. My Zora is good. My Zora is good. You wanna see Zora in action? Human? You wanna see Zora in action and why I rank her that? I show you. I show you why Zora is relevant. I also use a knockout, by the way. So we have one ticket. This guy here, for example. Does my like you can also think of this as a tank comp, okay? Oh, he has R0. Didn't even need to bring it, but nonetheless. So we buff up. Doesn't matter that he has that. Really doesn't matter. And now S3 with Zora, and since she moves before Gaius, she gets 20% accuracy on top of that. And she does damage. 100k, fishes out the damage for the Gaius, also lands the defense break. We can make it like turn 1, for example, and then you can compare the damage like between an Abigail and a defense broken, what is her name again, Asenat. Really isn't the meta defense at all, but 51k with one blitz, like with one lightning. And that's why Zora belongs into the situational spot. At R2, she gets the AoE defense break. At R4, she gets more damage, like when she follows up. After S3, she does her S1, which does 30% more damage. And at R6, she has a 50% chance of assisting. I can do it against a tank comp. If you want to see it against tank comp, I don't have an issue with that. This is a tank comp for you. Just for you, human. Wukong's chance of landing a defense break is too low though. That's fine. She did all she needed to do, and that was fishing out the damage. And she also has the strip. Like, she already did her job. She already did her job. She did more than I expected her to do. So that's why I rank her situational, because she's actually quite good. She actually, with the stupid HP boost, she enables you to um, do stuff. Yeah, no, Li Ling doesn't cut it in that sense. Because if you don't have a Raven, for example, she's doing that for you. She does damage, she lands the defense break, she has a buff block, she has a deceased. She does actually a lot. That's why I rank her that. And now we come to the next unit. So that might surprise you. So I rank CJ at actually broken. And that's one reason I think like that he is in like actually for you, by the way, for reference, actually broken, we can switch things around, but actually broken doesn't mean it's below this niche situational and stuff like that. Actually broken is that I believe that his kit is actually broken, that like what he's doing right now, which is crazy, which basically would mean that he's up here, actually like here, right? I feel like his S3 is not working as Lilith programmed it. Like he does weird stuff with it, with his S3, damage wise, with the swapping and everything so on. I feel like there's something wrong with him. I feel like there's he does something he's not supposed to do. So that's why he's in the actually broken thing, in my opinion. And that's what I mean by actually broken. Because I feel like his kit is working weird. That's why he's in the actually broken slot. Uh, Ambla. I think R6 Ambla. Maybe here. R6 Ambla kind of situational too. I mean, she can fish out crazy damage, right? But you need to R6, which is, unless you're a Omega Whale or you didn't know better, have her R6. And I still think she's like situational to me. Like, I don't see her much being played in PvP. Like, at least you don't see her on defense. No one actually uses her on defense. So the maximum amount of use is on offense. And so I guess that she's a situational unit. And being situational doesn't mean she's not good or something. It just means she's situational in that sense. So I would put her like above Lewis, definitely. Maybe even above Xander, like this. Maybe kind of tough to rank R6 Embla. I saw her damage, but I didn't like really test it because also I don't have Embla. But I feel like she's below Zora and below Luyan for me. She can be above Xander and above Fabrice at R6, but lower than these two. Also, with Knockout, for example, which is completely auto, I don't know how she works, like how her eye is, if she's stupid or not. But I feel like this should be fine. Uh, Next we have Ethan. And Ethan deserves a spot in the meta. Or maybe here? No, actually he's here. Or is he? Let me think about this real quick. No, actually he's here. Actually here, like he's here, but let's assume Fang wouldn't be in the game, right? Let's assume she wouldn't be in the game. He would move down from almost top of the meta to like down here. That would be his spot if Fang didn't exist. But because Fang does exist, he's like here. Yeah, only R2. Like R2. %100% R2. Is he better than Jinyu Yao though? I don't think so. Because you guys think though, oh, but what about these R2 Ethans and R6 Ethans with CJ and with Ollie and a Gap or a Jin or whatever else and a Fang? It's not the Ethan that carries the team. Yes, Ethan gives the extra speed, but who really carries the team? The real carry in the team is the Fang. It's not the Ethan. For people saying Ethan CJ is busted, yes, it is busted, but it's even more busted if there's a Fang in it. If there's no Fang in that team, the team wouldn't be even that big of a deal. So that's why Ethan is, for me, almost top of the meta. And actually, Broken, you get the idea, right? I mean, he would actually be like here, but because of that, he's like there, right? Exactly. So Ethan has shit ton going for him, and the thing is, his AI gets smarter as soon as he's R2, because at R2 he doesn't use his S3 anymore. At R2 he starts with his S2, which you want from him. And the extra speed, like the Ethan extra speed, only helps her. Like the extra speed from Ethan is for her. You don't even like you know what Ethan actually is, guys? Ethan, in a sense, is a Fang enabler. You use Ethan with Fang together, and Ethan's purpose is to make sure that the Fang moves before the other guy to skill reset. So Ethan is an enabler for Fang. Most of the time. Most of the time. Next we have Jinhee. I saw Jinhee in action, so that's why I rank her in niche. So, for those people who don't know, Jinhee's S3 Dizzy Days is a 2-turn stun, a silver debuff, and that silver debuff cannot be cleansed by a Jinyu Yao. So if you if you go into Holo and you fight, for example, Meredith, Jinyu Yao, and Everett, you can just stun lock Everett and Meredith, or if it's not a Meredith but an Ahmed, you can just stun lock these two units, and Jinyu Yao cannot remove the Dizzy Days from them. But, and here's a but, Sally can cleanse Dizzy Days. Don't ask me why. I have no idea why it works, but Sally can cleanse it. But Jin Yao cannot cleanse the Dizzy Days. And you can just stun lock, she can do great damage, you can use her like as a substitute DPS unit, as a controller, and she does a really good job, by the way. She actually does a really good job. So that's why she belongs into niche, and I think, yeah, I actually would think like this spot fits her perfectly. Then we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Pami belongs to also niche, and I think the only reason people use Pami is in a control setup because they maybe don't have an Ollie or a Tia, is my guess. And when they bring Pami, you can be 100% sure that there's an Ethan in it as well. No one runs a Pami without an Ethan. You only see these two together. Might be a bug, Erta, but I don't know. Uh, yeah, that's about how much I want to say about this. And now, what else do we have here? So, chill, guys. There's one reason Hati is ranked trash, and I explain. It's very simple, actually. We don't have a R6 yet. No one has a R6. We cannot test her full potential. So basically what it means is that because she's not R6, we cannot rank her. But she's probably somewhere around this area. She's somewhere around this area, probably at R6. But I just put it in here because we don't know her full potential yet. We have to wait till we have her R6 fully skilled up, and then we can change her ranking. That's just because we cannot test. That's why. That's why she's just there. Don't be confused. Guys, I give you an option now. I give you an option now. Elaine. Where do you think Elaine belongs? Yeah, but we have to see because I think to get an R6 Camille, we have to wait another 6 months. PvP, this is a PvP tier list. Human, I'm just over exaggerating, but from the challenges we have seen so far, it probably takes forever. It takes forever. As of right now, it takes forever. Because there's always that one task that is gate capped. Because they want people to play the game. Yeah, my opinion, she needs a buff. Elaine needs a buff. That's my personal opinion. She's not that great of a unit. Even with Leo together, she isn't. Not that of a great unit. Her damage is even that great. Because the multipliers suck ass. You need like a shit ton of attack and crit damage so she can actually do decent damage. You can use her as a sleeper unit, but she's more than lacking. Next up, very interesting to see for you guys. Leora. Where do we rank Leora? Leora. So I'm a little bit torn, but like to rank Leora in PvP. Yeah, I have an explanation for that, guys. I'm trying. Give me a couple of seconds to get my thoughts together. So the thing is here. R0 is worth it. R0 is worth it. Hi, Kid Ninja. Um, the idea behind why I'm saying meta but lacking is because her shield is lacking. Her shield is lacking. Her shield is a fucking joke. And that's why I'm saying meta but lacking for her potentially be. Yeah, because that shield is a fucking joke. That's the only reason why I'm saying this. Her shield is a joke. So that's why I'm saying meta but lacking. So what I'm trying to say also with this rank to give more thought process, right? To give more thought process is just because I put Leo down here doesn't mean she is worse than the other units above here. That's not what this tier list is saying. If I rank her, like if we scrap the but lacking thing, I would probably rank Leo. Where would I rank her? I would rank her probably here. And I'm not capping. Like, below Abby. No, actually above Abby. So, think about it this, okay? So, in my eyes, she's actually here. Leo's actually here. Yes, she's above Gaius. She's above Gaius. Would I run her as solo DPS without Gaius in a nuke team if I have a Gaius? No, I use them both. But, and here's a but, I put her in meta but lacking because her shield sucks. If Lilith decides to make her shield decent, and what I mean by decent is make it at least bare minimum 100% of her max attack, and which does make more sense is 120% of her max attack because it's the same as Gaius then. But let's say 100% max attack is fine, okay? Let's say 100% max attack is fine. If they buff it to 100% max attack, you know where Leo would be on this tier list? R6 Leo, top of the meta. Potentially be broken. Potentially, but definitely top of the meta. If they give her a decent shield, she would be 100% top of the meta. But because her shield sucks, she's meta but lacking. I think everyone understands now. And also that there's something. Yo, Quan, can you help me? Good thing you are here, by the way. Good thing you are here, Quan. I need you to understand the situation. No, she wouldn't. Did you see this unit here? Do you see this unit here? So you're saying giving her a decent shield would make it too broken? Look at this unit we got in the game and don't say that shit again. Say that shit in my eyes. With this unit being in the game. Decent shield, I would 100% rank her above JYY. I found use for her in every single content in offense and defense. By the way. So there's one weird interaction, Quan, which I wanted to ask you. So, and I want to show, not really showcase, but let's read it through together again. So here her S3 says, dispels all buffs on a selected enemy. Can't be resisted. Okay? That's we don't go any further than that. But dispels all buffs on a selected enemy, can't be resisted. So here's the thing. When you target a wind unit, she has the potential of missing. And what I encountered with her is that sometimes when she misses, she doesn't remove the buffs. And sometimes she misses and she does remove the buffs. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me because it says can't be resisted. So can't be resisted also means for me, even if you miss, you strip. That does not matter to me. If you miss or not, it cannot be resisted. So that's why I'm asking you, Quan, why does she sometimes dispel the buffs when she misses and sometimes she does not? That's what I don't get. Because I saw her stripping while missing and I saw her not stripping while missing. Yeah, because if the reason why they don't step she cannot miss, that means she would also be busted against Wind Espers. That's why, because that would mean she crits Wind Espers all the time. But Quan, I saw that. I saw her missing and still dispelling. And I saw her missing, not dispelling. I saw both things happening. That's why I'm asking you if you have an idea why it is this way. Because I saw both things. Also, by the way, fun fact though, if JJ is in demon mode and she uses S3, her miss rate is on the demon mode JJ. I think it's a bug, but I'm not sure. And we have the last unit, which is Uday. Uday for me is in a situational spot. She's not meta. No way, guys. Don't cope on Uday, she's not meta. She's good, but situational. So it's a bug. Must be a bug then. But yeah, Uday, like her S2 cannot be like her main selling point is R6 skill resetting, which also helps countering Fangs to a certain degree, helps survivability for JJs, for example, resetting all your other units as an AoE cleanse attack buff, pushes AP of your team with her S1. But the problem with her is she has very, very low base HP. She has high base defense, but very low base HP, which is kind of sucky. Hi, I Summon. Nice to see you in my stream. Why I think she's not meta is simply to be. How do I explain it? How do I explain it? To be a meta unit. Okay, I have something. To be a meta unit in the game, you cannot only be used for offense usages where you can manual things. You also need to be great on defense where you cannot do shit. And that's why, and her AI sucks, she's not great on defense, and only for offense in a situational use, she is situational. And that's why she's not meta. A lot of people have R6 Uda, you don't see her on defenses. You don't see it because her AI sucks on defense. You can use her for offense, but her use is situational because if she would be meta, that means in my eyes you bring her, a meta unit will be brought to every single fight, and she is a unit which will not get picked in every single fight. This is a PvP tier list. This is not PvE. We're not talking about PvE in this. That's specifically PvP. And it's not an R0 tier list, it's also not an R6 tier list. That's just how I rank the units overall based on R0 to R6 in PvP. And based on the game. So this unit here, Cecilia, let's go further, guys. Let's go further. Let's assume, okay? Let's assume we still play DISLYTE in the next 4 or 5 years. Let's assume. Because Summoners War, for example, we have that game for 8 years now and people still play this game, right? So let's assume 4 or 5 years into the future, we're still playing this game. Cecilia would move up with the current resonance system. She would move up from meta to broken, needs to be nerfed. She's there since day one, but since she's a Shimmer, it's very, very difficult to get R6. And that's why she is, where did I rank her again? Like here, right? But Sally, on the other hand, is a RGB unit, which is there since the beginning of the game. And a shit ton of people have her R6, and R6 is just busted as fuck. So guys, you can take a screenshot here. I will take a screenshot for myself. Snipping tool. This is a screenshot. This is my